How's it guys? Ollie again. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing, by popular demand, the SilverPlay Nano. Yeah, look, this is an amazing tank. This is still my favorite tank to date. It's the height, it's the aesthetics, it's the crazy airflow, it's the decent size build deck. Look, it's not the hugest build deck in the world, but it's a decent size, it's easy to wick, it doesn't leak. I think the only issue that I have with this, I mean in general, is that, you know, it's got that stupid bloody full screw on the bottom. I've lost 2 of them, so yeah. Yeah, let's go back down to the table. I'll show you what we're going to use for it and move on forward. Let's have a puff here. You can see this thing's kind of empty. Hopefully I don't get a dry hit. That was close. Sweet. So what I'm going to be using is my 521 tab, so I can check my ohms and fire it off there, so I don't have to use a mod. Cotton Bacon version 2. I just like cotton bacon in tanks. It just works nice and easily for me. A pair of scissors to cut the wick. Cura coiler with a 3mm insert. A little star screwdriver for the posts, because the posts are stars. Another little screwdriver so I can set my coils. Nichrome 80 24 gauge. My favorite build for the SilverPlay Nano is to put a little pair of Clapsons in here, like 6-rep 28 gauge Clapsons or 26 gauge Clapsons, but I don't have any Clapson wire, so yeah. And I'm loving 24 gauge Nichrome at the moment, so I'm just going to be using a bit of that. And then obviously ceramic tweezers, and the best tool in the world, the flippin' pick. Just before I get to wrapping wire, I just want to say one thing. My favorite build for this is 26 gauge Clapton, 2.5mm ID, like 6 wraps, but I don't have any with me, so I'm using this 24 gauge Nichrome as a substitute. So maybe if you guys can use your imaginations and like just pretend that it's Clapton wire, I'd appreciate that. But let's go out. I've already wrapped one, so I'm going to just wrap another. I'm going to grab my little Cura coiler, okay, jam it through the one end. Let's actually zoom out a little bit more. Jam it through the one end, pinch it over here. This is a 3mm ID, and the build that we actually are going to be doing is just 24 gauge Nichrome, 8 wrap around a 3mm drill bit, or Cura, whatever. Why do flipping people used to use drill bits back in the day? I mean, a screwdriver is so much easier, isn't it? Anyway, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wraps. Okay. Pop it out, swing it around, and then what I do is I grab my pliers and I'll just pull that first wrap out, move my finger across just so I can grab it, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, bring it across. Well, let me just pull this one too, just to tighten that wrap nicely. Okay, and there we have it. Let's clip him. Alright, now let's zoom in. Yeah, nice and close. Okay, so with my 3mm screwdriver, I'm just going to slide that coil on here so that I can place it. Okay, so we're going to go opposites. So I'm going to put it into the negative. Oh wait, hang on. Let's just undo this little screw here a bit. I don't even know why it's tight. I loosened it now. Okay, so let's just slide it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get it nice and close. Alright, and then, but not touching, you know, you just want to have a little bit of space between, you know, because obviously we're going to have to move this coil over now, so I want a little bit of extra wire over there so that when I push it, there's enough to bend. So let's just tighten this guy down. Just until the lead starts lifting up. When the lead starts lifting up, you know you've done enough. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll slide this in here. I'm going to use this base to push this coil across, and you'll see how nice and neat it'll come now. So, boom. Okay, then what I can do is take my pliers again, just pull this end, lift it up. Okay, and that should place that coil nicely. It actually has. It's placed it like almost perfectly. Well, no, it has placed it perfectly. Okay, nice and tight, but not too tight, otherwise it'll clip that lead. So yeah, let's trim off here, one side, trim off the other. Done and done. Okay, next coil, that pre-made one that I made earlier. Okay, so you see how it's nice, and see that gap there. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. Oh, too much there. That gap. Jeez, it's actually nice and zoomed in there. Check here. Okay, so you want like around about that much room. Now what I'm going to do with this side, okay, is I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to place it in, but instead of placing this lead straight through the that post, I'm going to just bring it up to the top. Okay, and what I do is I bring it through these post screws. Okay, so what this does is it gives me just a reference point where to snip my wire. Now I'm not gonna snip it right at the edge here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it against here. Just that little bit of room is going to give me the clearance that I need, or just going to give me the space that I need just to slot it in there without actually touching that coil. Because I mean the tolerances are so flippin' small in this. So let's snip it there. Oop, done. Now what I can do is just flip this around. Okay, pop it in. And, oh come on man, these screws are flipping going down here. Let's just lift this one a bit. Okay, cool. Let's bring it through. Now you'll see how the lead is just coming through, and that's perfect. That's exactly how I want it. Okay. I don't know. Can you see that lead there? Where is it? There it is there. Can you see that lead? I'm actually hitting it now. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly how we want it. So what I'll do is let me just screw this down. Oopsie, I gave it a bit too much pressure there. Okay, so we're in on that side. Let me just move this around so that I can actually see what I'm doing. What I'll do is I'll take my little pliers over here. Let's just pull it a bit closer. Okay. Just tighten them up. Okay. Tighten that side down. We can just position this coil now. Bloop. There we go. Just like, oh geez, you guys didn't even see that, man. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, I just tightened it down, pushed it through, got it all hooked up, and we're looking golden. Now let's just snip this. Alright, we're done. Now we can start firing this bad boy. Okay, what's it reading at? It should be like, oh there we go, 0.2. This should probably be like about 0.24 or whatever, 0.19. Let's move it around. There we go, 0.2. Okay, so now let's get these coils gluing. Let's just pulse it, pulse it, pulse it gently. If you, especially with this Geek Vape guy, I don't know if the Coil Master does it because I've never actually used the Coil Master, but if you just hold the fire button down, okay, what it does is it actually, that metal it heats up like this, and then it just starts bending that wire, and because you know obviously it takes shape when it heats up, so it's like a bit of a ball ache when you've got something that's like this close, you know, to to work out those bends. You've got to get the screwdriver back in there. So I just find pulsing it gently is probably the best way to do it. Let's pulse, just until I can see. Okay, I see some spots over here. I can see some spots. Let's give it a strum. Strum. Let's have a look. There we go, heating nice and evenly. Okay, zoom in. Oh, too much again. Come on, Oli, come along. Okay, looks like we're ready to rock and roll here. Let's just give these guys a pinch for good measure, just to say we did it. Okay, and this side here. Okay. Cool. I think for one more time, let's just get these coils nice and straightened up. Cool. Oh, what's going on here? Yeah. That one's good, that one's good, that one's good. Let's check the clearance. Yeah, clearance is looking good. 0.28, so it's settled at about 0.28. Alright, sweet. Okay, so my coils are looking good. It's time to wick this thing. Now, what I'll say is, not everybody's going to agree with my wicking method, okay? I just find that this works the best on this tank. It just, you know, these channels, okay, so these grooves, there's no little cup or anything like it, just so you can rest your cotton on or anything like that. So I'll show you obviously, but what I do is I bring the wicks and I bring them all the way down to the bottom. I just cut them and I just give a little bit of a gap underneath over here, but this section here is mostly filled with wick. Okay, so let's get to that. Zoom out a bit, just turn this off. Okay, so what I'm using is cotton bacon. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take a wad like this, okay, grab a section. Now these are 3mm ID coils, so I'm going to need like a decent amount. You know, obviously you want it to be thick. You don't want it to be too thick. But you know, most of the time we work this out with our fingers anyway. And if there is too much, I'll show you what I do is I end up snipping most of it off anyway. But yeah, I'll just roll it in my fingers like this. Okay, a couple times. I don't really do the hand method because, I mean, you don't really have to. As long as it's all nice and even, I reckon. Okay, pinch the end, just like that, and pull it through the one end. Okay, just until it's nice and, there we go. That's how we want it. Snippity snip, goes that side, and then let's do the other. Okay. This is now the important part. Alright, when I cut these wicks, okay, I actually, see if I can show you like this. What I do is I'll bring them down, okay, and I cut them flush with the deck. So, let me see if I can do this with like this. No, that's not going to work. But anyway, I'll bring it down and I cut it flush with that deck, okay. So, Alright, so there's my first snip. Okay, second snip, like that. This side, like that. Oh, got a bit of excess there. And this side, boom, just like that. Okay, so now we've got this vibe. Okay, so you got your little bow ties. It's last week we had bunny ears. This week we've got bow ties. So what I do is I'll fluff these wicks up, fluff them up. Okay, just so that they, you know, so that they're sticking up. Okay, so you want that kind of effect. Then with my trusty pair of scissors, I use this as my reference point, so the top of the screws, okay? And what I'll do is I go, boom, chop that side off, chop the top off, okay? This side here, chop the top off. This side here, oh, it's going to be difficult. So I'll just swing it around. This side here, we just snip and snip. Now what that does is it just now obviously brings the size of my wicks down, so I don't have that much to work with. Okay. Then what I'll do is I start measuring how much I'm going to need. So I'll take my trusty, lovely, beautiful tool, and I will start placing those wicks inside that channel. Okay. So I kind of push them in there. I mean, it's not too tight, it's not too much wick. I just like start pushing them in there. Okay, so there's the one, the second one. Let's see, all this wick here, it's going to go into that channel. So what I'll do is I'll bring it in here, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, and I'll just like loosely place it in that coil. Obviously when we wet it up, it's going to be a lot more, it's a lot easier. Okay, so there's one, there's two, this is number 3. Just place it in there, and you'll see like it'll go in there, it'll kind of sit like, oh, you see like this side here, there's a lot of like, there's not too much wick on this side. This is actually epic. But that doesn't really matter because I'll show you now. So we'll take this last one, let's jam it in there. Jam it in there, son. Go in there. Okay. So now at this point, this is now when I'm gonna wet these wicks. Okay. I just find it's a lot easier to work with wet cotton. So juice. What juice am I gonna use? I'm going to use an Orion juice. I don't know which one I'm going to use today. Yeah, I feel like this, eh? I'm using Orion Asteroid 3 milligram because that's how I roll. And yeah, so this is an incredible juice. Peanut butter. If you dig peanut butter, you know you're going to dig this. But anyway, let's just give it a nice wick, nice wet. Okay, so you can brush it on, you don't have to, you can dump it on, but don't use too much, because if you use, I mean, most of this is going to be cut away anyway, then all you're doing is you're throwing juice away. I just do this because it's easier for me to work. Now, you can cut this cotton in the dry state, but then there's just fibers everywhere, so that's why I do this. Either method works, doesn't matter, as long as it's wicked this way, it's fine, you know. You can decide whatever you want to do. Okay, so we're nice and wet over there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to push these wicks back in, get that juice all the way through the cotton. Okay, that one worked out nicely. Let's check this one out. Yeah, that one's also worked out nicely. Yeah, let's do this third one. Oh, okay, see, this is just too much wick here, but we'll fix that now. This guy, yeah. See, it's all working out. It's a little bit too much wick, but it doesn't matter. So now that I've got the wick stuck in there, all right, what I do is I snip off. So I use the base of the scissors. Okay, I use the base of the scissors, and I use this as my reference point now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip both sides on either side of the coil, and I'm just going to go straight down. Okay. Oh, jeez, I wish these scissors were a little bit longer, or had a bit of a sharper bit, because then I'd be able to get in there. Okay, so that's now what we've got. Okay, and it's like kind of flush in there, and that's exactly how it's going to sit. So next one, let's just snip it in there. Next one, and the last one. so now I've got 4 equal sections of wick inside my wicking holes. But check, job's not over. Still got one more step to do, because now what I did was I cut it flush with the base. All right, and I want a little bit of a channel, like a little bit of a breather over here. Oh geez, well let me turn this around and you guys can see it properly. Is this section here, I actually want to cut this off because I want nothing lying down here. I want to chop this off so it must actually be flush with that. So all that excess underneath you don't want. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but all I do is, once again, I'll use this base as a reference point. So I'll put it in there, I'll just snippety snip and pull that junk out. Okay, see all that? That is what we don't want. Okay, so there's 1 and 2 and oh, come on friend, let's be cooperative here. 2, 3 and the final one. Treeps. Snipped. Okay, then let's just tuck these back in, and then I'll show you what effect we've got here. Okay, so see that gap there now? That's all we want. We want a gap. We want a gap on this side too. Okay, this one didn't work out as well, but you still there's still more of a gap down there. Maybe I should actually, let me just snip this one again. So you see that? Gap, gap, gap off the roof. Let's just tuck it back in. Gap and gap. Yay! Okay, success. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit more juice on those coils itself. Let's check if she's firing. Vapors for days, son. Alright, I'm going to fill this tank and then we're going to go back up top and I'm going to vape it. This is the little SilverPlay Nano I just did. Yeah, let's have a vape and let's see how she goes. Oh, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Check out Wicks. See those tiny little bubbles? You know, if you've got that going, you've done it right. And they literally, I mean, they stream and stream and stream and stream and they don't stop. Especially if you're taking big drags. So yeah, I'm running this at 40 watts. Actually, hold on, I should be on about 45. 45, I reckon, is about the sweet spot for this build. It came out settled at 0.28. And look, the only tip, oh geez, like now it's on 36. So the only issue I have with this DNA 200 is it just scrolls so damn quickly. Like you miss the point by like 100th of a second, and you're like 10 watts out. But like I was saying, the most important part about this is when you're wicking, okay, and you've got those wicks in, okay, just make sure that they fill. They've got a slight gap on the bottom, and then when you're tucking them in, you clear all of those threads. Okay, you want to clear the threads of all, otherwise that's the bell, the little shroud or whatever. It's not gonna, the chimney part is not gonna like screw all the way down. But yeah, this is it, and it's just, this is still my favorite tank on the market. I have vaped on something incredible. I vaped on, or Paulie got a VCMT tank, which he built and I wicked for him. That thing is just incredible. I'm actually hoping to do a video on one soon. So yeah, even if you guys can't get your hands on it, you need to see this thing. It's just incredible. Yeah, and then finally, Rob, you can wick your version 2, SilverPlay version 2, the same way. It's got a very, very similar deck, so you can wick it the same way as this, no problem. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll check you next week. Shanana.